Well, Wes Moore has called Jones the glue to this team, but also says we are so fortunate to have Jada Boyd. He is the ACC and WBCA Coach of the Year. And Terry Morin has led Indiana to its first Sweet 16 in the tournament's current format. Made the round of 16 back in 1983, but the field was just 32 teams back then. An outstanding accomplishment for the Hoosiers. And Terry Morin saying, we know we have to get our hands dirty if we're going to win games. No exception when it comes to this contest against NC State. A trip to the Elite Eight on the line as Goulbe and Boyd jump it up, and NC State wins the tip. NC State in the white jerseys with the red trim, and Indiana in the red with the white trim. Little pull-up jumper won't go from Berger. Loves her mid-range game, and the rebound taken in by Kanane.
Both of these teams primarily man-to-man teams on the defensive end of the floor.
How about Boyd? The footwork just left it short. Take a look at our Capital One starting lineups for Indiana. Nicole Cardano-Hillary, Allie Papper, Grace Berger, Mackenzie Holmes, and Alexa Goulbe, the 5. Cardano-Hillary has really done a nice job in the backcourt for this Indiana squad. Here trying to hang with Perez. Take a look at our Capital One starting lineups for NC State. Raina Perez, Kai Crutchfield, Jakia Brown-Turner, Jada Boyd, and Kanane.
This is something to keep an eye on here early, Ryan. Mackenzie Holmes with her first foul. Her defensive presence is going to be big as they try to limit Elisa Kanane.
So an early foul on Holmes. Something to watch for sure. Holmes sticking with Kanane. Indiana wanted it up and down, didn't get it, and Boyd takes advantage.
And especially if Boyd's defender helps in on Kanane, she's going to have to continue to look to be aggressive to the basket.
Good movement here. Papper through the lane, flicks it out. Cardano-Hillary could not get it to go. Perez around the screen from Boyd, lost it for a moment. Got it to Boyd. The jab step, the jumper, no. And the strong side rebound to Goulbe. Quickly into the front court. Goulbe a 3, no. Shot it at 36% this season from downtown.
It's important for both of these teams, who are very good defensive teams, to finish the possession by getting to the defensive boards. In particular, Indiana. Terry Morin said we cannot give up second opportunities to NC State.
Boyd, the spin and the finish inside. And Jada Boyd truly making the most of the opportunity with the injury to Kayla Jones.
Terrific athlete. She can slash to the basket. You see her there, posting up inside.
And we talked to Wes Moore earlier in the season, and he said, Jada Boyd brings something we desperately need, and that is athleticism. Talk about the Indiana defense. The 80 points allowed through the first 2 games, fewest by a Big Ten team through 2 games all time, but it's NC State out to a 7-0 lead.
Jada Boyd comes into this game shooting 26% from the three-point line. That's why Indiana is playing off of her, but a shooter can shoot you out of that kind of defense.
She had just 7 threes this season, 4 last season, but 1 in this first quarter already. Wild shot there from Holmes, who immediately tapped her jersey as if to say, my bad. Big start here for NC State. Boyd, back to work.
That's the universal sign for my bad.
Perez trying to show the handles. Nice D there. Cardano-Hillary sticking with her. Shot clock down to 7. Brown Turner pushed it out of bounds, and a turnover from NC State. How about the start for Jada Boyd?
We talked about her, and she's a handful because she can get inside, has great footwork, make moves like that, and watch out, Indiana, if she can consistently drain that 3, because she's the player that they've been helping off of a little bit from the top.
Here's Berger. Cardano Hillary leaves it short, and Indiana yet to score in this first quarter. More than 4 minutes into it. Two very good defensive teams showing it there. Cardano Hillary, the effort to track it down and put it in. First bucket of the game for the Hoosiers.
Terry Morin told us she is a relentless on-ball defender. You saw it there.
The George Mason transfer, the all-time leading scorer there, and now another turnover from NC State.
It's been hard for Indiana to get easy buckets on the offensive end, so work a little harder defensively. Come out of bounds, back in, establish, and finish.
Boy, Railcam does a beautiful job showing the intensity on a play like that, huh? It's like there's a droid sliding in front of you. Yes. Sort of feels like we're on the Death Star, but it's fantastic. A jump ball. You see, there's Railcam, and as it goes sliding by, it's like R2-D2. All of a sudden, you just...
And here's the Death Star.
Yeah. We hope that our broadcast table has a better fate than the Death Star. Cardano Hillary misses on that jumper. Offensive rebound. Goulbe goes up, puts it in, plus the foul.
You have to continue to be relentless, especially when you're struggling in your half-court offense. One way you can do that, get to the offensive glass, finish, now to the free throw line.
Alexa Goulbe from Latvia. All Big Ten honorable mention. Completes the three-point play.
What do we got?
Well, we are waiting on some communication for what exactly transpired there. We think it might be an infection control moment. Yes, a little blood on the leg, perhaps. So Goulbe tended to by Indiana's training staff. Hey, tune in when the puck drops on the last NCAA men's ice hockey regional semifinal tonight at 10 Eastern when Minnesota and Omaha face off on ESPNU and the ESPN app, and visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Ryan, right now, NC State with 4 turnovers. Indiana only shooting 17%, but 7 more field goal attempts than the Wolfpack.
Boyd can't finish that one. Here comes Berger. 5 straight points from Indiana. Deep catch, the turn. Holmes is on the board. And a 7-0 response from Indiana after falling in a 7-0 hole.
You want your posts to be quick and decisive when they catch the basketball. Quick turn over her right shoulder, no dribble, then went back the other way. Double team too late.
Indiana started this game 1 of 11, and they are now tied. And another turnover from NC State. Indiana fired up. Mackenzie Holmes getting position and finishing beautifully on the inside.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
Well, former manager turned super fan Clayton Nunn. He is here, he is loud, he's had to carry it when there's been essentially no fans in the stands, and he's able to be joined by some more, about 2,800 fans allowed at the Alamo Dome for these games. Indiana on a 7-0 run after falling behind 7-0. Jada Boyd not only has all of NC State's points thus far, she has all their field goal attempts. As Holmes hits the jumper, Mackenzie Holmes, the first ever Hoosier to be an AP All-American honorable mention. And she scored the last 2 field goals for Indiana. That 3 is good. First field goal attempt for someone other than Boyd for NC State, and Jakia Brown-Turner on the board. Pat Berg will fire. Short, rebound lands in the lap of Kanane. Kanane working hard against Holmes, able to finish over the double.
And that's what NC State does. They put Kanane inside to post up. They have shooters surrounding her, moving around, good action, but ultimately they want to get her a touch.
Oh, nice job by Crutchfield, diving in. Lost it, threw it away, loose ball. Kanane corrals it. And another chance here for NC State. Finding the cutter, Boyd. Whips it to Crutchfield. Her 3 is good. This time of year, she's Kai Crutchfield. 17 of 25 in her career from 3 during the NCAA tournament. Just silly numbers.
NC State wants to play inside out. So first you see Kanane working hard, double team comes, doesn't matter. She's got the size and the skill to shoot over it. Already gone inside. Well, let's extend the defense and go outside. Crutchfield drains the 3. What have we noticed, Ryan? When NC State doesn't turn the basketball over, they shoot at a really high clip so far, 67%.
You see those numbers for Crutchfield in 8 games over her tournament career. I mean, that's just incredible. And she has had her share of game winners. Says she tries to be a second pair of eyes for Reina Perez on the floor.
Indiana likes to run that on-ball screen with Holmes and Berger, and it was really well defended by NC State on this possession.
NC State on an 8-0 run following Indiana's 9-0 run, which followed NC State's 7-0 run. Kanane connects on a 3.
She shoots 41% from outside the arc. One of the things that makes her so difficult to defend.
We were talking to her yesterday. She said she loves watching Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Elena Delle Donne. Said big players who dominate inside, but they can also handle, shoot, bring versatility. Berger, wow, how about that move and shot from Grace Berger?
Again, the high screen from Holmes. Berger didn't really use it, but that's an action that Indiana really likes.
Berger loves the mid-range. Paul Pierce, her favorite player, who had an epic mid-range game, our colleague. Nice dish. Berger to Holmes, just couldn't finish. Here comes Crutchfield. And a big tumble inside, and the foul's going to be against Gulbet.
Lisa Kanane has not missed a shot in this game, including this 3. How you feeling about it, big girl? Right there, hold your form. Grace Berger is not going to be a 3 as much as a mid-range. Degree of difficulty. She won an and 1.
We mentioned she has that mid-range game as Perez sinks the mid-range. Berger said, sometimes people tell me I have, that old man game. She said her favorite player is Paul Pierce, why she wears number 34, and he had that kind of YMCA game. As Berger tosses it aside. Hey, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Sweet 16 continues today on TBS and CBS, or stream games on the March Madness Live app from anywhere. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com.
You would strike me as a type of person who has an old man game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I developed a hook shot at 7. NC State a 20-11 lead on Indiana here in the first quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup. If you like runs, you've come to the right place.
What do they say, Ryan? Basketball?
It's a game of runs.
It sure is. Whether you're an old man or a young woman.
About a 16-second difference. Game and shot clock. Boyd slips in, banks it home. What an opening quarter for Jada Boyd, now 9 points.
Indiana continuing to help off of Boyd onto Canane. It's important for her to hit shots and attack.
Indiana can hold for a final shot here. Five seconds left in the quarter. Wow, what a move from Patberg, who buries the 3. And that will end the first quarter. NC State an 8-point lead after 1 in this Sweet 16 matchup. Someone advances. Someone goes home tonight. A fun back and forth first in San Antonio. Second quarter coming up next.
What a Sweet 16 it's been for teams in the Big Ten, showing out 4 teams into the Sweet 16 from that conference. They have been terrific all season long. And what a busy day for their commissioner, Kevin Warren. He started out this morning on our court watching Iowa, popped over to the other court to watch Michigan in an overtime thriller against Baylor. And then here he is back again for Indiana. Maryland will play tomorrow. I spoke to him earlier today, and he was terrific. He's so proud of the conference. He said, we have fantastic coaches. Not just women's basketball coaches, we have great coaches. He also addressed some of the inequities that we saw here in San Antonio with the women versus the men. He said, we are committed to making sure that each of our student athletes are getting an equitable experience, and we are constantly trying to analyze ourselves to make sure that that is happening in the Big Ten.
You know, we saw Iowa play a really strong, exciting game against UConn. UConn eventually pulled away, 20-point result, but it was not a 20-point game by any means. Earlier in the incredibly hyped matchup between Iowa and UConn, really fun brand of basketball. And then Michigan, although they lost, what a performance against Baylor, and just a sensational game that just ended before the start of this one between Michigan and Baylor, going to overtime, and just incredible back and forth drama down the stretch of that fourth quarter and overtime.
And we have not yet seen the Big Ten champion in Maryland, who has been playing as good a basketball as any team in the NCAA tournament.
And many feel could end up being the national champions at the end of this week plus in San Antonio. 22-16, NC State lead. Crutchfield gets it back. Canane double, didn't matter, couldn't finish. Boyd flew in. It's a foul on Jada Boyd. For Boyd, that will be her second personal.
That last possession was NC State exhausting the post. Into the post, back out, into the post, back out, repost, back out. But Jada Boyd going to the bench. She has been so good here today.
Step back three, no good for Patberg, but a whistle. It's going to stay right here against NC State.
Indiana has done such a good job getting to the offensive glass, fighting for those second looks.
Holmes. Nice little pivot to the left hand for Mackenzie Holmes.
Terry Morin said, I don't think NC State's going to send a double team to Mackenzie Holmes. And as a result, she really felt like this was a game where she could go to work inside.
Perez flicks it out. Crutchfield. Canane had it knocked from behind by Berger. Here comes Indiana. A nice response from the Hoosiers. A 7-0 run. Berger, not that time, and Perez the rebound. Perez floats it in. Reyna Perez, who Westmore has called a blessing for his team, the grad transfer from Cal State Fullerton. Berger couldn't finish. Here's Crutchfield dashing ahead. And it's out of bounds. It's going to stay with NC State.
Mackenzie Holmes, so good at finishing inside, has great feet, up, under. Beautifully done by the sophomore.
Guys, she's also good at finishing outside, because this is her during the stay-home quarantine period, working out at her home in Gorham, Maine. She had to find a basket at the end of a cul-de-sac. She was trying to get some work in while we were all staying at home, but the weather didn't comply, and I just love that the neighbors had to keep asking her to get out of the way so they could drive by, so they could get their cars out.
Street ball. That's what ends up happening. Cardano Hillary, the offensive rebound, finds some space, couldn't finish, and a foul against Indiana after Canane corralled the rebound.
And we've showed that video or photos, similar photos, in a number of games throughout the course of the season. And Mackenzie Holmes said, anytime it's shown, she has friends who text her, they're showing the video again. But it's too good to not show.
That's right. Some things are worth repeating. Canane, too strong, rebound Berger. Berger, what a spin! Didn't get the roll, but drew the foul, and will shoot two. Berger misses the first. All Big Ten first team.
15, we'll go 15.
2 times now in her career. A quiet kid, but Coach Morin describes her as one of the fiercest competitors she's ever been around. Sutphin dishes it into Canane. It's out of bounds off of Indiana. Going to stay here with NC State. And Jada Boyd remains on the bench with those 2 fouls for NC State. So Ellie Sutphin getting extended time here for NC State. Remember, Holly told us Kayla Jones dealing with a patella injury, not expected to play, and a turnover here as the foul's called, I believe, against Canane.
Yeah, Canane was setting a screen, and she wasn't set before her teammate went, and as a result, she picks up the foul. Sometimes this isn't always your big's fault. The little guy, the guard, has to wait for the big to get set before they make their cut.
(24-19), NC State leading Indiana. Second quarter action, this Sweet 16 matchup. Cardano Hillary. Oh, and just thrown behind Pat Berg, out of bounds. Hey, the NCAA Women's Championship, it continues with the Sweet 16 on Sunday, 1 p.m. on ABC. 5 seed Georgia Tech and 1 seed South Carolina, then another number 1 seed At 3 p.m. on ABC, it's Stanford against Missouri State. And at night on ESPN, Oregon faces Louisville at 7, and then Texas, Maryland at 9.
Texas-Maryland game is a prime example of defense with Texas and offense with Maryland.
How about the defense from Cardano Hillary? You talked about her on-ball defense, Rebecca, and she has been a pest.
Oh, completely pesty.
8 turnovers now from NC State. Berger finds Cardano Hillary off on a 3 and a whistle. It's going to stay right here. Boy, Indiana has been exhausting NC State on the offensive glass at times.
Run alongside, pick your poison. It's just a little poke. Nice job, and she gets the turnover as a result. Yep. That'll get you hyped up. Getting it going on the defensive end.
NC State is not a team that turns it over often. They're in the top 10% in the country when it comes to offensive turnover percentage, but they have coughed it up quite a bit in this first half. Camille Hobby into the game for NC State. Brown Turner just couldn't get the angle. Nice D there from Berger. Nice pass and the finish. Pat Berg to Goulbe for 2, and it's a 2-point game.
And a great catch by Goulbe because that wasn't placed perfectly in her hands. It was a great pass, but a little low. She was able to corral it and score.
Hobby trying to gain position on the block. Sutphin will fire. No. A rebound. Cardano Hillary. Here come the Hoosiers down 2. Berger behind the back, looking for an angle and finding one. It's time. Can hear the Indiana faithful. A 13-2 run for the Hoosiers. Perez splashes a 3. Reina Perez, so many big buckets this season for NC State.
The game winner in the ACC championship game against Louisville. She's perfect from the floor here today.
Squeezing between 2, out of bounds, and it's going to be NC State basketball, leading by 3.
What a run by Indiana, though, to keep this close. Allie Patberg with a nice dish inside, corral it, finish. And then Berger, the mid-range game. Good.
All right, Maria, we are looking forward to that. Our team working hard in the studio, doing an outstanding job. Loved watching you over the past few days, Rebecca. With Coach in the studio, Maria.
It's good to be here with you now.
Oh, it's
although
great.
I miss my folks in the studio.
Kanane banks it in. And NC State back up by 5 after the 13-2 run from Indiana. Patberg banks it home. Allie Patberg. All Big Ten second team. Perez splashes it in, stopped on a dime, was given the space, said, all right, I'll take it.
Again, Perez yet to miss so far in this game.
4 of 4 now from the floor. She has 9 points. NC State is a team shooting it at 56.5%. They've just run into issues with turnovers at times in this opening half against this Indiana defense. Mackenzie Holmes, the spin, couldn't hook it in. Kanane, good defense. And then gave it away. Patberg there. Patberg in for 2.
Terry Morin really has to be happy with what her team has done on the defensive end. She told us her top 2 keys. 1, transition defense. They haven't given up any fast break points. 2, she said we have to keep NC State off the glass. They have been able to do that.
They have not given up an offensive rebound yet. Panane, quick turn. I mean, that is just incredible skill.
And I love the patience with NC State. They know that they're going to play through Panane. And even if she passes it back out, they are looking in.
Berger could not finish it. Loose ball foul is going to be against NC State. And we'll see who they call it on as Berger is helped back up.
Nothing wrong with your big player handling the basketball, but you can't do that. A little lazy pass, and it turns into 2 points the other way, but very comfortable right here. Over right shoulder, finish left hand, so skilled inside.
NC State over the limit, so Berger at the line misses the free throw. 75% from the line this season for Grace Berger. And hits the second. NC State yet to go to the free throw line in this first half. That is not something they do often. I mean, not this infrequently. You know, they get some frequency. It's not a hallmark of their game as Wagner travels. And NC State gives it right back. Indiana has done an outstanding job forcing turnovers in this opening half. 10 turnovers now for NC State. They average fewer than 13 a game. Sweet 16 matchup. A trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Pepper kicks. The 3 is good. Nicole Cordano-Hillary connecting from downtown. 1 point game. Perez is fouled on the floor, and we'll see who they call it on. The NCAA Women's Championship continues. Sweet 16 today and Sunday on ESPN Networks. The Elite Eight, March 29th and 30th. And the Final Four, Friday, April 2nd, 6 and 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. Championship Sunday, April 4th, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. That 3 off the mark. Rebound hauled in by Goulbe. Indiana a chance to jump in front. Berger bounces. That foul, by the way, was called against Berger. It was her first, and a whistle here going the other way as Indiana turns it over.
I think Indiana's had really good patience the last couple possessions, though, on the offensive end. They've moved the ball side to side multiple times, really making NC State defend. The first time they completed with a 3, that time there was a turnover.
Under a minute to go in the half. Perez lost the handle. Another turnover, 11th of the half from NC State. 2 for 1 opportunity here for Indiana if they want to push a bit. But instead, Terry Morin going to direct traffic. Berger making sure she has the call. Shot clock down to 7. Cordano-Hillary with it at 5. Shot clock at 2. Holmes through the lane, hooks it in. Beautifully done, Mackenzie Holmes in Indiana in front. And now a whistle and a block is called against Indiana and Patberg, who wanted an offensive foul.
Oh, I thought Patberg was there in time. Gave her the step to turn. Woo, previous to that, though, another great offensive possession by Indiana with their patience and then finishing at the end.
Well, 12 seconds left in the half. Indiana, a 1-point lead. Brown Turner got away from the dig, left it short. Rebound Indiana. And the Hoosiers will have the lead at the half, against top seed NC State. Indiana outscoring NC State 20-11 in the second quarter using feisty, pesky defense and turning over the Wolfpack 11 times in that opening half. Mackenzie Holmes, and it's a 1-point Indiana lead after 2 quarters. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Guys, I told you before the game about Kayla Jones' patella tendon injury, so Jada Boyd needed to step up big, and she did with 9 points. But she went to the bench with 2 fouls, and that's when things started to go wrong for NC State. They were outscored 18-11 with her on the bench. That's what allowed Indiana to get back in this game. They need her to stay on the floor and continue to score.
Yeah, Holly, she's so critical to what they do. So Boyd back out there to begin the third quarter. With those 2 fouls, Pat Bird can't finish, but drew the foul, and who is the foul on? That one's going to be against Brown Turner. Indiana with the lead at the half. NC State has trailed at the half 6 times this season. They are 4-1 in the previous 5.
When we were talking to Coach Westmore yesterday, I said what struck me the latter part of the season about his team is the tremendous toughness they've shown and their ability to come back from those deficits. And he said, well, thank you, but that's not how I've seen it. He said, I think we need to be tougher. Well, we'll see in these next 20 minutes how tough NC State can be.
Westmore felt like he really wasn't thrilled with the way NC State played in the first 2 rounds as Holmes comes up with a rejection. Hatberg leading the break, pulling up and hitting. It was the same spot. This time she just needed a defense to be able to hit from that free throw line. (36-33) and another turnover forced by Indiana. Hatberg the no look. Holmes sidestepping and finishing. What a start to the third for the Hoosiers.
Westmore told us we cannot let Indiana get going in transition. That's what we've seen the last 2 possessions. Indiana forcing a turnover and then getting out.
Brown Turner hits the jumper. NC State trying to make just their second Elite 8 as that layup goes down for Cardano Hillary. Indiana looking to head to its first ever Elite 8. NC State has been dominant in third quarters thus far in the tournament, but not to start here. Holmes again stifling on the inside. Goulbe was there as well. Hatberg, Boyd turns her back. Hatberg finished plus the foul, and that's number 3 on Jada Boyd.
This has all started on the defensive end for Indiana. They are bottling up the inside, taking away Kanane, and then pushing it the other direction. Again, Allie Patberg to the basket.
Timeout taken. Indiana fired up their crowd on its feet. A 7-point Hoosier lead. Well, Rebecca, you said it starts on the defensive end for Indiana.
Their help post defense has been terrific here in the third quarter, and then they get out and run. Patberg gets the 2 at the rim. One end to the other, and they're feeling it right now. Patberg saying, yeah, you caused that turnover, Alexa.
You know, it's interesting talking with Terry Morin, the 7th year now that she's been the head coach of Indiana. And she said, our kids get equally as excited for defensive game planning as they do offensive. And so I asked her, is that about the kind of kids that you have, or is that, you know, the way you just sort of cultivate things in your program? And she said a little of both, but when we're recruiting, we make sure our kids know they're going to have to be equally excited about defense. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a fit here at Indiana. And they have kids who are excited about defense.
And one of the things she said that I love is we understand what our limitations are. And team defense can make up for those limitations.
Down the floor, Cardano Hillary stepped out of bounds, and Indiana turns it over for just the 6th time. Going back to the 3rd quarter, it's an extended 15-2 stretch for Terry Morin's team, leading by 8 here in the 3rd quarter. With 7:30 to go, a trip to the Elite Eight on the line. You see NC State a plus 26 in 3rd quarters. The first 2 games of the tournament, they're a -7 thus far tonight. And a whistle here against Holmes. That is going to be her 2nd personal.
She picked up a personal foul early in the 1st quarter and has continued to battle, and this is only her 2nd. So she's been able to fight without fouling. Had a lot of help from teammates coming into double when Kanane has gotten a touch.
Brown Turner couldn't finish it. Berger, the weak side board. Papper gives it right up. Goulbay gets the step. Too easy. It is a 10-point lead for Indiana.
Every time they change sides of the floor multiple times offensively, they get good looks.
Now, one thing about NC State, they know how to come back. As Berger able to save it, but right back to NC State. Perez sneaking between 2, just couldn't finish it. Holmes the rebound. NC State still without a single offensive rebound as Berger splashes in another mid-range J. Indiana looks awfully comfortable right now. Leading by 12, getting good looks on the offensive end, creating chaos on this end. Kanane, double. 10 to shoot. Boyd on the drive, flips it in, and a much-needed bucket for NC State.
Indiana had really good rotation, but Boyd's been able to score that way before. In the rotation, getting it at the high post and driving.
Indiana is 6 for 6 from the floor this quarter. They're 12 for their last 14, as that leaner won't drop for Goulbay. Kanane, Perez, corner 3, rims off, rebound, tracked by Kanane, kept it alive, and another chance here for NC State. Hey, if you can't make it to San Antonio but want to be there for the women's Final Four, you could join our cutouts there. Look at us. Join the NCAA in its fan cutout program, supporting the K-Out Cancer Fund, the Pat Summit Foundation, and the San Antonio Food Bank. For more information on how you can benefit these great causes and get your cutout into the Alamo Dome, go to ncaa.com/WFF cutouts.
I'm going to take the Coach Landers cutout with me to dinner tonight. Since I can't actually have dinner with a human being, I'm taking that.
I think that's a good move. Brown Turner banks it in. Somehow I could see even Coach Landers' cutout making great conversation. Berger hits again. I'm sure making Paul Pierce proud with that mid-range game. 10 points now for Berger, and a whistle here. Goulbay went around Boyd for the foul. 10-point Indiana lead.
Let's see a little bit of the old man game. Grace Berger, if you're not going to come out on me, I'm just going to stop and pop. Step through when I need to. Westmore told us we have to slow down Indiana's transition, and they have not been able to do that. 14-0 fast break points for Indiana. Look how quickly they get end to end.
Just dominating on that end. And for more on Coach Terry Morin, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Terry Morin was a tough ball player herself. She was a point guard on Purdue's first ever Big Ten championship team. I reached out to her former coach, Lynn Dunn, who has been a mentor to her, and Terry told us yesterday, Lynn Dunn is everything I've ever done in basketball. She's the reason why. Lynn said that she was one of the toughest players she's coached. She was smart, had a high basketball IQ, and it was a coach on the floor, so it's no surprise what a great job she's doing as a coach at Indiana.
Do you think Coach Morin is as fun to mic up as Lynn Dunn is?
No one's as fun as Lynn Dunn.
We love miking up Lynn Dunn in the WNBA. Berger nearly had it taken away. Got it back. NC State ratcheting up the defense a little bit here. Under 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter of this Sweet 16 game. Indiana started 8 of 27 from the floor. They're 13 for 16 since. Minutes here for Chloe Moore McNeil, wearing number 22 for Indiana, as Pat Berg curls in another.
Again, Ryan, switching sides of the floor multiple times turns into good looks for Indiana. Great patience here in the third quarter.
Canane kicks it out. Brown Turner can hit the three. Good battle on the boards there. Ooh, it's going to be out of bounds off of Canane. Looked like it maybe it lasted Berger.
It did. Side to side, passing the basketball, making the defense shift, and then the tough shot by Pat Berg. We see you smiling.
Pat Berg, the senior from the state of Indiana, has 14 points on 6 of 11 shooting and 4 assists for Allie Pat Berg. These Hoosiers making history for their school. Holmes waiting, squeezed it to the corner. 7 to shoot. Golbe lays it in, and another patient possession for Indiana.
The defense shifting to the left side of the floor, leaves the right side open for the drive. What an answer for Crutchfield.
Exactly what NC State needs. Crutchfield, 2 for 2 from downtown in this game. Holmes can't get that to drop. An opportunity here for NC State. Genesis Bryant getting some minutes for the Wolfpack. Westmore saying he had been so pleased with her practices between the end of the ACC tournament and the start here in Texas, that she earned some minutes, especially with the injury to Kayla Jones, out with a patella injury. Crutchfield, not that time. Berger secures it. Looking to push for Indiana. Cardano Hillary bodies in, finishes in the foul. And the Indiana bench up out of their chairs to celebrate.
Toughness on the defensive end of the floor, and then the ability to quickly go the other way. Great one-handed pass by Berger up to Cardano Hillary.
NC State was undefeated against ranked teams this season. The final AP poll, Indiana was the 12th ranked team in the country. They're a 4 seed in this tournament. And a whistle there against Cardano Hillary.
This Indiana team lost in the second round of the Big Ten tournament to Michigan State. As you see what the story of the third quarter has been, and Terry Morin told us, that was kind of a wake-up call. Recommitted on the defensive end of the floor. Said maybe that loss was a blessing in disguise. Well, Indiana's playing well today.
Cardano Hillary and Crutchfield really getting physical back and forth. Canane kicks it out. Boyd couldn't handle. 7 to shoot. Brown Turner got the angle and got fouled. And Jakia Brown Turner will head to the line for NC State's first free throws of the game. And Brown Turner hits the first.
Brown Turner, a player who needs to come alive offensively here for NC State. These last 12 minutes, very capable of doing that.
She had been shooting very well through the first 2 games of this tournament, 55% for the floors. Berger comes back in for Indiana. Cardano Hillary, Goulbe, Pat Berg. Berger, Holmes, the 5 on the floor for Indiana. Perez, Crutchfield, Boyd, Brown, Turner, Cunane, the 5 for NC State. Berger again, owning the mid-range.
That last time it looked like NC State in a zone, and Indiana found the soft spot quickly.
14-point Indiana lead. Brown Turner can't finish. It's whacked out of bounds. Now, I'm not quite sure. Is that going to be a foul against Cunane? Because it looked like it was slapped by Holmes, but they're going to give it to Indiana. Unless Berger was make that Cunane was stepping out of bounds as it deflected off of her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pat Berg, back rim no. Rebound secured by NC State. Just 1 offensive rebound in this game for NC State. That was a key for Terry Morin. And her team has delivered on the defensive glass. Boyd storms in. Wow, you could just see the talent of Jada Boyd.
Again, her player is the one helping in, so when she closes back out, Boyd can get by her.
Goulbe, a 3. No. And a chance here for NC State.
In the last 2 possessions, Indiana has quick shot the basketball. You haven't seen the side-to-side that have been so effective.
And Perez banks it in and executes the 2-for-1. So NC State feeling a little better about themselves perhaps at the end of this third. Got a 3-second difference game and shot clock. Cardano Hillary will let it wind. Two to shoot, Cardano Hillary, no. And that is gonna do it for the 3rd quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup. Will Indiana make its first Elite 8? 4th quarter coming up next. Well, coverage of the NCAA Women's Championship continues tonight. 3-seed Arizona and 2-seed Texas A&M, 8 Eastern on ESPN2. And how about the other night, Holly Rowe?
Jordan Nixon taking the ball with seconds left and getting that roll. She said, I was so emotional because it was the 1-year anniversary of the death of her high school coach, Dave Edwards, who passed early on in the COVID pandemic. And she said, he was on my heart. I knew before the game, I set an intention for myself that I was dedicating that game to him. And so she wasn't surprised at all when that basket went in. I actually have a great story that we just finished, a feature on Jordan Nixon that we've just posted. And I sent it to Dave Edwards' son, Corey, and he said, you know, I watched every second of that game because Jordan was my dad's favorite, and I knew he would be watching if he was here.
Oh. Well, we look forward to watching Jordan in action tonight as Crutchfield begins the 4th with a 3 for NC State. She is 3 for 3 from downtown. It's a 7-point game as Holmes gets free for 2.
Crutchfield, a player that NC State needs to continue to look for on the perimeter because she has been so efficient from the outside.
All 1 and 2 seeds still intact here in San Antonio. That could change in the next 9 minutes and 20 seconds of game time. Just the 2nd turnover of the 2nd half for NC State after they coughed it up 11 times in the first half. Cardano Hillary weaving, wheeling it back out. A 60-51 lead for Indiana. 4th quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup. Holmes putting it on the floor. Too easy for Mackenzie Holmes.
So good, those two in the 2-man game.
NC State is 4-0 this season when trailing after 3. So Wolfpack fans are like, we have them right where we want them. Although they have to start getting a little nervous, you would think, as NC State turns it over again.
And typically their answer is to get the ball into Elisa Canane. And Indiana has done a phenomenal job when she catches sending the double team. Nothing has been easy for Canane.
Just 9 points, 4 of 9 from the floor. Another look inside. Goulbe lays it in. And Indiana has gotten so many clean looks at the rim in this second half.
Really good job moving the basketball, shifting the defense, making extra passes. But what a shot there.
Genesis Bryant on the reverse leg. Berger, mid-range, not that time. Rebound snared by Boyd.
11-point lead. That's a quick shot for Indiana.
Perez got the whistle against Berger. That'll be the second foul on Grace Berger, and Reina Perez will shoot just the third and fourth free throws of the game for NC State.
Last time down the floor, Indiana. Grace Berger, you don't need that shot. It's early in the shot clock. Make the defense work. Every time they've done that, they've gotten good looks.
Rebecca, for NC State to close this gap, pull off another one of their comebacks, what are they going to need in this fourth quarter?
And it has to start on the defensive end. They've got to get stops. I mean, Indiana has done a terrific job offensively, shifting them and moving them. But they've got to get stops. If they can get some things in transition, it's gravy. If not, understand that Canane is drawing so much attention. If you get it to her, she's got to quickly get it out. And Boyd could be a good target to then drive to the basket. She's had success there.
Fifth meeting all time between these schools. NC State has won the first 4. That three, no good. Cardano Hillary. Bryant. Hawked by Patberg. Gets it into Boyd. Boyd had a big first quarter, has not been loud since. Picked up her second foul in the second quarter, and Indiana really took off after she went to the bench. Holmes, what footwork for Mackenzie Holmes, getting to that left-handed finish. Bryant flips it back out. Boyd, that's going the other way. Jada Boyd hit with her 4th personal foul.
As a post player, you want to play the speed you want to play. Don't let the defense rush you. Holmes gets the basketball, assess the situation, feel it with a couple dribbles, and how about the step through? She has really played well today.
Mackenzie Holmes from Maine. Honorable mention in AP's All-Americans, the first ever member of the Hoosiers to accomplish that. This school on the brink of some more history for Indiana. Shot clock at 6. Berger leans, takes, no. Nice box out by Crutchfield. That was a hard-earned rebound. Still plenty of time left for NC State. How about Berger fronting Boyd in the post, pushed her to the perimeter. Canane turns and flips it in. Heck of a finish there from Elisa Canane.
What a tough shot, and on that possession, no help came, so she had the one-on-one.
11 points, 9 rebounds for Canane. Patberg zipping through, couldn't drop it home. And a chance here for NC State. Crutchfield gives it up. Canane can't hit the 3. Would have been a big one for NC State. Five minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup. Berger alone in the corner, can't hit the 3, and Canane secures it. Canane on the block, finishes plus the foul. A chance for 3 for Elisa Canane.
Cardano Hillary got hit, and so she was not able to defend on the perimeter and prevent the pass from going in, and Kanane got deep position, no help is there. Great finish.
We saw the reaction from Kayla Jones on the bench, who is unable to play in this game because of a patella injury, a player Wes Moore calls the glue to the team. But Elisa Kanane pointed out her vocal nature has made her a factor, even injured on the bench. We see her not sitting down, up on her feet, cheering on her team. 8-point game.
The last few possessions, NC State in a zone again.
Pat Berg, 6 to shoot, flips it up, no! Out of bounds, it last hit NC State. And it will be Indiana basketball. 4:34 to go, a trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Indiana leads by 8.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Oh, Maria, we're looking forward to that one. And to the finish here, NC State has got it back down to single digits and trailing entering the fourth quarter this season. You see the comebacks they have had. Tonight they trailed by 10 after 3. 4:35 to go in this fourth. 4 on the shot clock here for Indiana. Berger has to get it in, finds Patberg. Big bucket for Allie Patberg.
How many tough shots has Allie Patberg made today?
16 points for Patberg. Genesis Bryant, too long. Loose ball foul, going to go against Indiana. And that will be the third team foul against the Hoosiers in this fourth.
And the way they have crashed the defensive glass. NC State only 1 offensive rebound all game.
Just incredible. NC State averages about 11 offensive rebounds per game. As Holmes is going to check out after her 4th foul. So that was number 4 on Holmes. She will head to the bench. See how Indiana handles that. Brown Turner short. Berger couldn't claw it, and it's out of bounds to NC State. Berger thought it was hit from behind by NC State.
That's the universal sign for I don't agree. Clutching the hands over the face.
Do you see that a lot in the Lobo Russian household?
We do, yes.
I'm going to guess Rose gives that face the most.
No, it's me with my husband.
Perez stops, dishes, Bryant getting meaningful minutes here. Kanane worked hard for the position and is fouled by Gube.
Good decision. Good decision. Holmes is out of the game with 4 fouls. Get the ball into Kanane and let her go to work.
Holmes gonna come back in now with 3:53 to go. 16 points. A 10-point Indiana lead. NC State 1-12 all time in Sweet 16 games. Wes Moore has built something very special here at NC State, trying to get this school to just its 2nd Elite Eight ever, its first since 1998. For Indiana, it'd be its first Elite Eight in school history.
Now NC State bringing the full court pressure.
8-point game. Cardano Hillary backs it out.
If you're Indiana, you want to continue to be aggressive offensively, but in a smart way. Understand what's been working for you.
Holmes 2 to shoot, put it on the deck, and an offensive foul, and that will be number 5 on Mackenzie Holmes.
I love Terry Morin's reaction, though, because you have to lead in the face of this. You have just lost your leading scorer, and you have to stay positive here. I think that's the right call, Ryan. Yeah, she lowers her shoulder, pushes out with her arm, but Terry Morin's reaction was to clap and say, let's go, guys, we still got this.
So how does Indiana survive the final 3+ minutes without Mackenzie Holmes? Kunane going to work, leaning in, didn't get the whistle or the bucket. Rebound secured by Indiana. Keandra Brown into the game for Indiana, replacing Holmes. She was there defensively on that possession. Hatberg trapped, finds Brown. Brown flips it in off the bench and looking fresh.
How about Brown? Played 3 minutes in this game until she just came back in.
Perez, they need it, they have it. Timeout taken. A 7-point Indiana lead. 2:37 to go in the fourth. A trip to the Elite Eight is on the line in our third riveting game of the afternoon and evening.
NC State has shot the 3 ball well today, 8 of 17, and Perez has 2 of them, none bigger than the one she just made.
Perez now 15 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. She has been clutch this season for NC State. Crutchfield has been clutch throughout her career. Dynamic from downtown. She's 3 of 3 today, and she's 19 of 27 in her NCAA tournament career.
And expect NC State to bring the full court pressure. We saw them do that the last time down as well. Try to create some turnovers, uncomfortable moments for Indiana.
What's important for Indiana if they're going to hold on, Rebecca?
To absolutely take care of the basketball. And when they go the other end, work the clock, get good shots. But here, handle the full court pressure.
They do. Cardano Hillary tried to go around the back, though. And it's going to be a foul against Brown. And Indiana's over the limit. NC State will shoot free throws. They broke the press, and Cardano Hillary, I don't think that dribble was necessary at that point.
She gets it in, yeah, just keep it on your left side. Just keep it on your left side.
Now, are they going to give free throws or no here? There's a debate as to whether or not there are going to be free throws here, and the officials will confer. And I think the question probably is whether or not NC State had possession there, or if it was an offensive foul against Indiana. So it will not be free throws. Kunane kicks it out. Boyd connects on a 3. It's a 4-point contest.
In and out. Kunane to Boyd has been there for much of this game.
Turning the corner, Cardano Hillary couldn't finish. Loose ball, a scrap for it, and it's going to be a jump. The possession arrow belongs to NC State.
I don't understand why you take that shot, Ryan. Why so early in the clock? If it's a wide open layup, sure, but if not, work the ball around.
Check that. Indiana has the possession arrow. Berger gives it up to Patberg. 7 to shoot. Berger spinning, elevating, can't hit. Indiana trying to drag themselves to the finish line here. NC State with a real chance, down just 4. Boyd putting it on the deck. Jada Boyd lays it in. It's a 2-point game. And Indiana needs a timeout. Mackenzie Holmes is fouled out. Indiana trying to hang on, and NC State has made it a 2-point game with 1:21 to go.
Jada Boyd posting up the freshman. And when it's not Canaan with the basketball, Indiana has not sent a double team. So Boyd was able to go one-on-one and finish nicely.
Two timeouts remaining for each team. NC State, plenty of fouls to give. Indiana is over the limit. The possession arrow now belongs to NC State. 1:21 to go in the fourth. And how does Indiana get themselves to a victory and stay calm without Mackenzie Holmes on the floor?
I think that's the key, right, is to have poise, because NC State has been on a huge run. Indiana has had nice balance today, but their leading scorer on the season out with her 5 fouls.
1:21 to go in the fourth. Indiana trying to make its first ever Elite Eight. NC State trying to get to its second. Berger turning the corner. Goulbe on the drive. Brown can't finish, but was fouled. Keandra Brown will shoot 2.
What Keandra Brown is doing is really difficult. As a freshman in a Sweet 16 game, you only play 3 minutes until the fourth quarter. You have to come in when one of your leaders is out with foul trouble, and she has done nicely. Only taken 16 free throws on the season, but shot at 81% from the line.
Two-point game. Brown misses the first. Indiana 6 of 12 from the line in this game. And Brown misses both. Crutchfield the rebound. NC State down 2. Crutchfield flirted with backcourt there for a moment.
I'd like to see them play through Canaan on this possession.
Inside of a minute to go. Perez has been clutch all season. Brown Turner 10 to shoot. Perez dips inside, feeds underneath. Canaan lost it out of bounds, and it is going to be NC State basketball.
What a pass inside. Oh, Berger was asking for the review, and it looks like she's going to get it, but it's important to note the call on the floor was NC State basketball. Has to be clear and conclusive for them to overturn that in terms of the possession.
The other thing to note is the shot clock reset.
We are going to review the out of bounds on the floor.
The shot clock reset because Berger had gained possession there. It wasn't a deflection. You'll see Berger possession there, so shot clock resets, and
oh yeah, that's off of Berger.
It's going to be NC State basketball. So after a great defensive possession, the shot clock about to expire, and a turnover because Berger possessed it, and then Cunane knocks it out of bounds off of her. It's going to be NC State ball with a fresh shot clock. We'll wait for the official confirmation, but based on that replay, there certainly didn't look like anything to indicate that it is going to be Indiana basketball instead.
And if it is NC State basketball and they don't score on their initial baseline out of bounds play, and they end up in a quarter court set, I would say play through Canaan. Even if it means getting it into Canaan and back out, that's when they've had the opportunities for dribble penetration.
This was a 70-60 Indiana lead with 2:53 to go. And NC State on an 8-0 run since. That almost directly coincided with Mackenzie Holmes fouling out. She fouled out a possession before that lead improved to 70-60. But Indiana has really struggled with her on the bench.
And Westmore essentially gets a timeout here that he doesn't have to take and can talk to his team about what he wants to run. But it's clear to me, not only off of her leg, but you'll see Berger's hand and knee, the last one to touch it without question. And whether or not she got bumped does not come into play in the NCAA.
Whereas in the WNBA, it does.
Or are they looking to see if Cunane's foot was on the line when she touched it?
That's an interesting point, Rebecca.
After review, the call on the floor is confirmed. It is white ball. Due to possession attained by red, we will reset the shot clock.
Rebecca, that's a really interesting point you make about whether or not Cunane's foot was actually out of bounds when she made contact with the basketball.
It looks to me on those last two replays like it was. I wasn't looking for that initially, but when we blew it up, it looked like it was.
Instead, it's going to be NC State basketball, and as we mentioned before, the shot clock resets because Berger had gained possession. Under 40 seconds left, NC State down 2, a trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Cunane working hard, turning, spinning, can't finish, loose ball, saved to the corner. Patberg has it for Indiana, and she is fouled by Brown Turner. And now NC State will have to take 2 more fouls to put Indiana at the line. And a timeout called by Indiana. Let's check in real quickly here with Maria Taylor. All right, Maria, we're looking forward to that game. This is the 3rd straight outstanding game we've had today. Started with UConn and Iowa. A great, entertaining battle. UConn ended up winning, then Baylor holding off Michigan, and here NC State trying to come back against Indiana. But it's Indiana basketball after a big stop on the defensive end. 25.6 seconds to go. Hoosiers by 2. They have 1 timeout remaining. NC State with 2. Indiana over the limit. NC State still with 2 fouls to give.
Indiana needs to cleanly inbound the basketball, and then when they do, they have to avoid a tie-up and expect the foul to come.
Berger, there's the foul from Cunane. And remember, Indiana has struggled mightily shooting free throws today. They're just 6 of 13 from the line. Normally as a team, they shoot it at 72%. Patberg flings it into the backcourt. Cardano Hillary being chased and is fouled by Perez with 21.1 seconds remaining.
Am I right that Cardano Hillary is 50% on the season from the free throw line?
You are right.
I mean, she was wide open, but NC State has to be thrilled that she's the one who ended up with the ball in her hands.
Big free throw here is good. Cardano Hillary knocks down the first. A 3-point Indiana lead. The second is also good. A flex and a scream from Nicole Cardano Hillary as her team celebrates the 2 made free throws. It's a 2-possession game. Indiana in front. Timeout taken by NC State with 21.1 seconds remaining. You don't often see flexes post free throws, but when you're a 50% free throw shooter and you hit big ones like this, you flex.
Huge, huge free throws, and what an impactful game she has had today on both ends of the floor.
From Spain, the all-time leading scorer at George Mason. Terry Morin calls her a bucket getter. 12 points in this game and 4 steals for Cardano Hillary. You see the reset, 4-point lead for Indiana. It's NC State's ball. They also have the possession arrow. Neither team with a foul to give, each team with 1 timeout remaining.
I would look for NC State to attack the basket. If you can get a quick 2, you take it. If you can suck in the defense and have a shooter open on the perimeter, then you pass back out.
Crutchfield, a shooter to watch. She's 3 for 3 from downtown today. Here's Bryant getting big minutes down the stretch. Perez on the attack. The leaner rolls in. It's a 2-point game. 13.5 seconds remaining, and Indiana spends its final timeout.
NC State trying to get the basketball, going towards the basket. Reina Perez hit a huge shot to win the ACC tournament against Louisville. This is a similar look that she gets here. And now defensively, NC State has got to try to get a steal on the inbounds pass or a quick foul if they do not get that, or a tie-up.
13.5 seconds remaining in this fourth. Indiana, a 2-point lead on NC State. NC State has had a season littered with comebacks. This is just the 5th time they've trailed entering the 4th quarter. The previous 4 times, they have come back to win. This is an NC State team that has beaten the AP #1 ranked team twice this season. They've been in high leverage situations, and they have come through.
Important to note, NC State has 1 steal on the day.
Rebecca, let me just ask you this. What do you think? Oh, it's NC State who took that timeout, not Indiana.
Oh, I think now Indiana is going to take the timeout.
Now Indiana's going to take a timeout. Rebecca, why would NC State have burned their last time out there?
I don't know. Because you know that Indiana is going to want to take the timeout so they can advance the basketball.
Right.
And of course, Wes Moore wants to be able to set up his pressure, but he had to assume that Indiana would have taken the timeout.
Now, if you're NC State, you're not able to advance the basketball.
Wow.
That is an incredibly unorthodox decision. And so now both teams are out of timeouts as Indiana takes theirs to advance the basketball.
You can't advance the basketball when your opponent takes a timeout. So that is why they took the timeout after NC State did. But back to your question, I have no idea why NC State would have taken that.
Well, I'm sure that's going to be a question for Wes Moore in the postgame. It's one he obviously is going to want to answer after a win rather than a loss. Indiana, a 2-point lead, 13.5 to go in this fourth. Now remember, Indiana has to inbound it. They do not have any timeouts remaining.
And Ryan, you can foul before the ball is inbounded as long as it's players who are involved in the play.
Not the same as the away from the play foul that we see at the professional level. Pat Berg will get it in. Pat Berg finds Goulbe, gets it back, and she's fouled by Brown Turner with 11.3 seconds remaining, and 2 free throws coming here for Allie Patberg. 78.5% in her career, 75% this season, but she's 1 for 3 from the line tonight. Patberg's first, rims off. It's been a fantastic game for Patberg. She's had to do this without Mackenzie Holmes, you just saw on the bench. The final few minutes after fouling out. Patberg hits the second. It's a 3-point game. Kunane checks in. Each team out of timeouts.
Great sub, because that gets you the time to set up what you want to set up, a late game play that you've already gone through in practice.
If you're Indiana, do you consider fouling?
You do.
Perez, 7 seconds left. Perez through the lane, stops, flips it out. Kunane, 2 seconds, hits, misses. That's it! Indiana for the very first time, is headed to the Elite Eight. They take down top seed NC State, 73-70 the final. What a win for Terry Morin and the Hoosiers, as NC State walks off utterly disappointed.
NC State looking for dribble penetration, trying to suck the defense in to get a clean look from outside, and Kanane gets a decent look, but how fitting that Indiana, who was so disruptive on the defense end, whose identity is on the defensive end, wins this game with a defensive stop.
Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. How about the night for Nicole Cardano-Hillary?
For a team that relies on its defense, she set the tone for them. 3 steals in the first half. Pesty, disruptive, not letting anything be easy for NC State. And then the 50% free throw shooter hits 2 huge ones with under a minute to go.
And when you hit free throws like that, you get to speak with our very own Holly Rowe.
Well, Nicole, you stepped to the free throw line in a crucial moment in this game, and you're a 50% free throw shooter. How were you able to knock both of those down in that crucial moment?
Yes. Honestly, the confidence that my team had in me was all I needed. I have been struggling, as you said, 50% on my free throws, but you know, when it's game time, you gotta be ready to step up to that line, and I feel like that's what we needed for the team, and I got it done. So I just am so excited that I get to celebrate with these amazing people, and you know, they deserve it all. So
you guys really had to fight to finish this game. One of your heart and soul players, Mackenzie Holmes, fouls out. How hard was it to close out this feisty NC State team?
I mean, like you said, Mackenzie is an extremely big part of our team, but our bench, KB, stepped up. Everyone that came in, Chloe, Key, everyone that came in, they did what they had to do, and I mean, that shows our team working at every second of the day, and they deserve it.
Well, thank you so much. Making history to the Elite Eight for the first time. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Well, Indiana, for the very first time, headed to the Elite Eight, where they will meet the winner of Texas A&M and Arizona. That's coming up next here on ESPN2. Once again, the final score, Indiana 73, NC State 70. Coming up next, it's Arizona, Texas A&M. For our producer, Kerry Callahan, our director, Jimmy Platt, Holly Rowe, Rebecca Lobo, and our entire crew, I'm Ryan Rucco. Thanks so much for joining us. What a fun game. Now here's Maria Taylor in the studio.